how do you make time for like a creative project and also like a side business like that? You have 3 jobs that I counted.
Basically, three. Yeah. Um, Google Calendars. Always Google Calendars. My name is Melanie. I'm in my fourth and final year in biomedical sciences. Studying in high school is more easygoing. There's a lot of support from your peers. You can go basically ask anybody. Studying in university, as a result, you have to think about yourself in the sense that you need to be able to manage your own time. You need to be able to take that accountability and say, okay, now I want to study. You don't have as much supervision as you had in high school, maybe from like your family or your guardian. So now you have to actually know that I'm on my own. I'm doing this because I love it and I want to do it, right? An advice I would have loved to have gotten coming on campus would be to make a lot of friends, meet new people, socialize, socialize, socialize as much as possible, because having a group of people that are able to come together, work with one another, help each other, you grow as a person, you also find yourself, and being alone doesn't really help you do that. You find yourself more cooped up in a shell and you don't really grow as quickly. Being a good student takes a lot of intentionality. You need to be able to try to balance a lot of things in your life. You have to find a way in which suits you best. And that's how you can be a student. You're not just a student in school, but you're a student of life. So you have to grow in many different aspects at the same time. Was I always a good student? I wouldn't say that. It took me time, it took a lot of trial and error to get to where I am now. Even now, I'm not the most perfect student, but I've taken steps towards bettering myself. For instance, first year, second year, there was a lot of procrastination, waiting till the last minute to get my assignments done. Now I'm able to strategize. I'm able to look at my calendar and see when to start a project and when to give myself time to actually submit, being happy with what I've written up. So it takes time, it takes practice. At times, even in terms of studying, I wasn't the best. I would maybe try to like mush up everything, 3, 4 weeks worth of content in 1 or 2 nights, which is not feasible, especially now in university. You learn so much more material than you had learned in high school. It is not the same. You have to practice every day. And if you don't know how to study, we have resources online, we have resources on campus. You can also ask your friends what their study methods look like and you could try them out. So that's what I would say is like to be a student. Don't be afraid to try something out. Don't be afraid to fail as well. Because after you fail, you have to pick yourself up again and you can't cry over spilled milk. It's university. Life keeps rolling. Events are also a great way to learn more about the resources that are offered on campus. Attend as many events as you can because you'll never know who you're going to get to meet. That person might help you maybe start a project. Maybe that could be your next co-founder of a business that you didn't know you're going to do? So, yeah, I would say attend as much as you can when you can. Time management now in university is crucial. You have to place everything in a certain time. I use Google Calendars as an example. I map out my whole day. At times, it's not completely accurate since some things could happen. There could be a lot of changes, but it helps you keep on track of the things that you are set to do. Having a time, for example, for me, having a calendar, I'm able to also like plan out when I'm going to sleep, when I'm going to study, what I'm going to study, who I'm going to meet with, meeting with a supervisor, when I'm going to even call my family. You know, it might sound very cheesy to have a time slot for when you're going to make calls or connect with people, but it helps you. You're building relationships. You're maintaining your own sanity as well. So in addition to being a student, I am a math support assistant. I am a tutor to high school students, tutoring them in STEM subjects. I am a friend. I am a sibling. I am a co-founder of a cooking catering business. So I do quite a bit.
I didn't know that you're cooking business.
Not a lot of people know about it. So I started cooking last year. So one day I actually had this crazy idea like, oh, Melanie, call your friend and be like, hey, I know you guys always have like a family fun day in the summer. I don't mind actually catering to you guys. The gumption I had, I I don't know what made me think I could do it. And I'm like, yeah, I gave a really good sales pitch. I'm like, okay, you guys don't need someone to serve lunch. It's okay. I'll serve hot dogs in the morning. That's fine. And they're like, oh, okay, you know what? Actually, let me talk to the organizers and I'll let you know what they say. A couple of weeks later, he calls me back and he's like, Melanie, yes, cook, but can I be a part of it as well? And I'm like, okay. And he was also somewhat an organizer, so he had the ins and outs of what was going on. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. And he was like, yeah, we're going to cook for 250 people. And I'm like, I'm just starting out. And we got two other co-founders, and yeah, it's been good since.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
How do you make time for like a creative project and also like a side business like that? You have 3 jobs that I counted.
Basically 3, yeah. Um, Google Calendars. Always Google Calendars. I also set time aside. For the most part, I'm free over the weekends. I have a day whereby I I don't do anything, so that's when I can have like time for any additional projects, supplemental things I need to work on. That's when I do that. But otherwise, my work week is Monday to Friday, and yeah, weekends I give myself that grace. Yeah. What I would say about my values in regards to time management, I would say that I don't want to waste my own time. I want to use my time as efficiently or as effectively as possible. So that really helps me navigate myself, navigate the way I do things in such a way that I'm making the most with the amount of time I have in that moment. On a broad scale, I have a whole 4-month calendar. It's a whole semester. At the beginning of the academic year, once I get all my course outlines, I'm able to write all my due dates down, put them on my calendar, know when this is happening or when anything is happening. And then I have a monthly calendar as well that at this point it will be already like partially filled out. But if I have any like side gigs that are going to be ongoing, I try to put them in my calendar. And then on a weekly basis, check your calendar on a Sunday or just before the week starts, and then slot everything in. Maybe office hours with professors, meeting with supervisors, even like going to work, you have to put it in your calendar. You don't want to forget. And I have set a 10-minute reminder before it actually happens. That way, I'm in line or in tune with everything I'm supposed to do. Slightly beforehand, it actually happens. As a student, you should set your own boundaries. It is difficult, especially when you are trying to maybe make friends, you're trying to build connections, you're trying to keep relationships alive with your family, with anyone you want to be associated with, it is important to also know when to say no. That no doesn't need to be harsh, but it needs to be firm. You need to know that right now, this is my space, this is my study time. It may suck at times, you may lose a couple of people along the way, but it is for your own future benefit. I survive on the Pomodoro method. So, for those that don't know what the Pomodoro method is basically a study technique whereby you dedicate maybe 20 minutes of your time studying and then take a break for 5 minutes and then get back again, 20 minutes studying, 5 minutes, you take a break. So for me with the Pomodoro method, because my attention span wasn't the best, I started with like maybe 10-minute intervals or 15-minute intervals. And I'd just take a break, a 2-3 minutes break, wind down, go to the washroom, or look around in the building, and then get back into that concentration zone. I found that having peak times of concentration and then relaxation times, it helped me study for longer as opposed to just sitting for 1 3-hour block. Your eyes are reading, but your brain isn't processing. So with the Pomodoro, you're guaranteed every 20 or 15 minutes you're studying, and it's actual productive studying because you're able to absorb all that information. I believe that taking a break is very important while you're studying because what most people don't realize is that taking a break is also a part of studying. I found for myself that a lot of the time, if I didn't know maybe the answer to a problem set, once I take a nap, once I give myself 10 minutes to breathe, the flow of, maybe how I'm supposed to answer the question, that's when it will come to light. As a student, you should try getting a good night's sleep. At the minimum, at least try for 8 hours. I know it's difficult. I know it doesn't seem like it's possible, but good sleep, good life, good mental health as well. So you should take that into account. If you have a big assignment that isn't due yet, what I would say is plan your time accordingly, and you need to be specific from the onset when you get it. Start out small. Start out by maybe talking to your professor, carving an outline for what you want the report to look like. While you're doing this report, get input from your TA, from your professor, through the office hours to know exactly what is being looked for. Always revert back to the assignment guidelines. That way, as you write it in bits and pieces, you know what is expected of you in that moment. Being very specific in a study calendar, at times you have to break up what you're going to do in regards to that lab report, right? You'd say maybe today, 30 minutes writing an outline. Next day, 2 hours researching on the topic, gathering your resources, your links that you're going to use that would be part of the lab report. At times, you have to also set time and also write it in your schedule that I have to go meet with this professor to ask. And then you write the question that you're going to ask the professor. So you won't forget why you need to go to those office hours. And also you have like that in-depth experience with them. They would be able to provide you more guidance in that regard, right? Downtime, rest time, you need the break. You need to I can't even say set some time apart, but know that you need at times time to just scream, time to relax, time to rest, take a nap, power nap, maybe time to talk to someone as well, because our mental health is equally as important. You need to be healthy all around, not just in the physical. to be able to get going, to keep moving. We need to sleep, eat. Students, forget to eat. You need to eat, take a breath. It's not the end of the world. So, yeah.